In this Burnout Extra, I'm going to show you how to change your sway bar bushings in a 2000 Jeep Cherokee XJ. These right here are what the sway bar bushings look like. These are them brand new, and this just helps with the stability of your suspension on your Jeep. So obviously this here is an XJ, and I'll get close-ups of it, but there's two sway bar bushings that ultimately have a stabilizer arm running through them. And these bushings will wear out over time, especially if you have a Jeep like mine that has over 200,000 miles, and I can almost guarantee you that these bushings have never been replaced on this car. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to replace these one at a time. There's one on each side, and it's a pretty simple process. If you don't know what to do, just follow along in this video. I would also like to mention that any Cherokee that is older than 2001, but newer than I think 1994 or something like that, takes this specific sway bar bushing. So if you look up the Moog number, which is this brand specifically, that's a K3171. That is the part number for these bushings, and I'll link that right down in the description so that you can find this exact product if you have the same Jeep that I have today. So what you're going to want to do next is loosen these two bolts that are holding in one of these brackets to the sway bar bushing. Those bolts are actually in there pretty good. So if you have a ratchet and socket, you might need a pole or maybe a breaker bar for a little bit more leverage on getting those out. However, if you have an impact, that'll do the trick just fine. So I'm gonna loosen that up right now. After you've gotten the two 15mm bolts out, you can just pry off this bracket. It should pop right off the bottom there. And then this rubber bushing should have a little slit in it. You can see that there's a break in the bushing. Now that's supposed to be like that, and your new ones will also come with a slice in them on purpose. And that's so that you can bend the bushing around the pole there and be able to get the old one off as well as the new one on. And you can see that this rubber is actually pretty frail, and it's definitely worn in the middle, so this is something that definitely needed to be changed. Getting the new bushing on is actually pretty tough. However, just like the old one, you want to make sure that you open up the sliced part and pretty much pry it on with your hand the best you can. Once you have it on, you want the flat part of the new bushing to be pointed towards the top of the car. After that, add the bracket that held in the bushing itself, and be sure to add in the two 15mm bolts in the original bolt holes that you pulled them out of.